I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beautiful.
Hey, and welcome to the world of small talk, where we have small conversation with deep implications. I'm your host, Nate Pearson.
And I'm Ronald Taylor.
And this is our debut episode. It's a very exciting time. And I can tell you it's been a struggle to get this off the ground, but we're here. We made it, and we're excited. So, to cover what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking different situations that people are dealing with, and Ronald and I are going to be giving you advice. This is not certified medical advice. If you need therapy, we encourage you to go and take what you need. But this is just a kind of a talking, like a little corner, a coffee shop corner where we're just talking, giving you some advice and just talking through some issues. Yeah, he's got the coffee.
Coffee cup for those just listening.
Yes. And for those of you who do not know me, I said my name, but my name is Nathaniel Pearson, Nate Pearson, and I am also a host of the Small World podcast, which is the parent company for this. Small World Media has just been launched, and we're one of the branched off podcasts. So if you want to hear more about me, you can hop over there, listen to our initial episode. We got a lot of details about my life. Ronald, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, so I am Ronald Taylor, Ron Taylor, Ro Taylor, whatever you want to call me is fine. I am a student pastor. I work at New Bethel Baptist Church in Henderson, North Carolina, and man, we love it here. And I'm also a part-time customer service rep, donning my headset right now, coming in clutch. And yeah, so I have done an episode on Small World. And so if you guys ever, just want to hear me talk for an hour, you guys can go click on that episode and check it out. Fully endorse the Small World company as mom and dad of Small Talk. So yeah, we're super excited.
Yeah. And so not to put herself into too niche of an audience, I'm an ex-youth pastor, ordained minister, and Ron is a current youth pastor and hopefully to be ordained soon.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. That's crazy.
So good, yeah.
To soon be called Rev Ron.
Rev Ron, baby.
Rev Ron.
So good.
All right.
I got to change my IG handle.
Yeah, that's going to be fire. Oh, man. But this is, we're going to be coming to things from more of a biblical worldview, but we certainly have advice for all. And this week, we're going to be doing mostly stuff off of internet forums, and that'll be mixed in here and there. But if you have anything that you would like to be discussed anonymously, please submit it, and we would tell you how to do that at the end of this episode. And each week, you'll have that opportunity to hear from us. All right, you ready to jump into this?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, and as a precursor, I have not seen any of these, so I don't know. We haven't done any lead work or anything like that. I am hearing these for the first time, and I know Nate hasn't done much prep. I think a lot of it is just him getting material for us to go over, and then we're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants.
Yes, I've been proofreading, but by no means have I been sitting here and dwelling on what I'm gonna say for each one. But we're gonna hop right in. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this one says, owning a gun is a quote-unquote deal breaker for my girlfriend. I told my girlfriend I want to buy a gun because the world seems to get crazier every day, and I would like to be able to protect myself if I was in danger. My girlfriend says that is a deal breaker for her. She doesn't want to live in a house with a gun in it. She has never been shooting and probably doesn't know a single thing about guns other than that they have the capability to kill people. I like to try and educate her about guns and etiquette, but I don't think she would want to try. So I'm basically at a fork in the road where I can buy a gun or keep my girlfriend.
Way to go, Nate. The first question that we have is gonna split our audience in half.
I just want to get down to it. Each question I'm going to divide it a little bit more.
Getting down to brass tacks over here.
We're going to have 2 listeners by the time.
Gun control. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it's. What do you think, Ron?
That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because you're dealing with 2 things here. You're dealing with the gun control aspect and gun control conversation of whether people should own guns or not, and 2, you're dealing with a relationship. And so that's pretty tough. And obviously, I don't know if it doesn't really dwell on if she's anti-gun or if she just is kind of wary around guns. She might just be uncomfortable around guns and doesn't want him to own one. Excuse me. But I don't know. So I think the biggest thing in that is man, in the utmost, try to have that conversation to begin with, because I think he said, yeah, we haven't had that conversation, but I don't think she's going to be down with that. Well, you don't know you don't know till you try. What were you saying?
Also, how far are they into this relationship?
Right. Yeah.
Because like if you're at a point where you're choosing between your gun and a girlfriend, it doesn't seem like it's that deep,
Yeah.
Like if it came to a gun or girlfriend, for me personally, if it's a deep relationship, I'm going with the relationship. But also, that's one of those conversations, as you said, you need to have early on, just because it's important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I think if you kind of dig a little bit deeper into that relationship, or even in that conversation, a lot of the gun control conversation or anti-pro gun conversations, they're kind of they kind of sit in two separate parks of like what you believe, period. Not exclusively just pro gun, anti gun, but they kind of like lead to a lot of other beliefs that people have, just statistically speaking. And so that would also, like, yeah, you definitely want to have that conversation of just like, maybe you guys should be talking about other topics too. Like, on what you agree on or not.
You might want to see if this is a relationship worth pursuing at this point.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I'll say not because you don't care for each other, but ultimately it's hard to build a relationship when you don't agree on much. I mean, it's going to be a very rocky, tough time.
Yeah, absolutely. And like getting all of those, like, I think people have it flopped right now where they want to be in this relationship and kind of like, oh, I'm just going to avoid all of these hard conversations until we get married. And then you get married and crap hits the fan because you're like completely anti each other's ideologies. And it's like, well, what do we do now? Because like we're married, like we're stuck with each other now, at least we should be, and we're going to work through this rather than if it's, leading to divorce or, before marriage leading to a breakup, that would probably have been a lot healthier than a messy divorce or a messy marriage, an unhappy, unfulfilling marriage. And I'm not saying obviously that the gun conversation is the unfulfilling marriage. I am pro self-defense. I am not opposed to, the right people having a concealed carry. I think if you actually do your research, you do see that there's a lot of vetting that has to go through you getting your concealed carry, in the state of North Carolina, at least. And so I am pro that, but I'm also pro healthy relationship, so if it's like, hey, like, really guns is the only thing that I'm really uncomfortable with, like there does need to be that, there does need to have that conversation to happen. So yeah, it's really what I have with that for right now. So
all right, well, on to the next. This one says, what's my next move? I finally worked out the courage to ask out my crush at the dog park. I asked her if she'd like to get coffee or go for a walk. She said, yeah, let me get your number. She even made a big deal about spelling my name right. We said goodbye, and I went on my way hoping to hear from her, but we didn't plan anything in that moment. Weeks go by, and I don't get a text. I see her around and we don't talk, but she greets me by name. We make eye contact and she smiles and waves. I also unexpectedly bump into her where she works, and she greeted me was super friendly. Is she rejecting me, quote unquote, nicely? I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, and maybe she took down my number incorrectly. What's my next move? I feel like this is obvious, but
Yikes. At the dog park too. Yeah, so she took his number. And so he doesn't have her number. She just got his number from him. Okay. Yeah.
Was that a strategic move?
Oh yeah, I think she was. It seems like she was just being nice, But I also, like, as a male, if you're seeing this girl all the time, like, grow a pair of cojones for a second, if that's allowed to say, and like and talk to her, like. Man, it's so funny. It's like if literally you had a one-on-one physical interaction right at the dog park, and you guys she got your number from you, and you guys said, hey, let's do something together. I don't think it's weird at all. The next time that you see each other, be like, hey, like, I just wanted to follow up. Like, did you still want to do something? Or or not?
Well, now I think he's kind of, or he or she, I forgot what it said, has kind of put them into a situation where it's going to be awkward if they bring it up because they've seen him several times since.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it definitely is going to be way more uncomfortable now than it would have been had he like said that the first time. You know, I think he definitely friend zoned himself, like with not saying anything the first time. But I would still say that it's worth saying something. You know, like I would rather live with the knowledge of like saying something, and then if I get denied again, I can just be done with it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like if I don't say anything, there's a relationship that it could have happened, but it didn't happen because I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
You know.
And my advice is just chin up, push through, and learn from the experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I guess that was a lot nicer than grow a pair of cojones.
You can't completely say this chance is ruined. You're just in a tough situation now, and it's going to take some fighting to get out. But I mean, hey, worst case scenario, you just tell her how you feel and that you like nothing crazy. Don't confess your love, but you know. That'd be kind of, see her at the dog park and be like, I got you give me, or you got my number, and I really love you. Don't.
He's like, we've seen each other 7 times since then and had 3 passing glances and 1 red, like really awkward smirk, but
you waved
I'm here
like
for
twice.
it all. I love you.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, all right. So good luck with that if it hasn't been resolved already.
Yeah. Good luck, random citizen. We're rooting for you.
This one says going out alone, ? So long story short, I have no friends, at least not in the city I currently reside. I have no one to go out and do fun things with, and I've decided to stop waiting around and just enjoy life by myself. And before you ask, no, I'm not a weirdo, bad friend, drama queen, etc. LOL. I've even used Bumble BFF, Facebook meetup groups, etc. But connecting with people on a real level is difficult as a young adult. I prefer spending my free time with people I connect with on a non-superficial level, and I can truly let my hair down and be myself around. Anyways, I haven't been to a baseball game in years, and there's a Braves-Nats game I really want to go to and attend. Is it weird for a single woman to go to a game alone, ? Does it come across as desperate? I don't know why I said ? Because it was a question.
So, and it's funny though, because that didn't come across weird at all to me. Because in my friend group, whenever we say things, we'll sometimes follow it with ? So we're gonna go get food ? And so that was like totally normal to me. So 1, go Braves. 2, so Braves, if you ever want to be on the podcast, more than welcome. And 2, man, YGG, like, man, you go, girl, doing it on your own. 1, I would say carry pepper spray or some kind of defense mechanism per our first story. And nextly is not a word, but we're gonna go with it. The reason I laughed when you said Bumble BFF to not to not turn off any people that may be on Bumble BFF, but when he said that, I heard Bumblebee FF. And so like it took my brain a second to like realize you said Bumble BFF as in the app for friends.
I didn't even know that existed.
I didn't either until I'd like pieced it together after hearing Bumblebee FF.
Bumblebee FF. All right, yeah, and of course, I'm not giving out Reddit usernames or Instagram usernames or anything, so these people won't know this advice is directly from them. But if you're in this situation and you're a girl or guy out there and you don't have any friends, don't be afraid to go out and do stuff. Yeah, I can tell you, I made the difficult decision to go see a movie by myself one time. Great experience, because like you know how like you're watching a movie with someone and then a good part happens and you look at them and you feel like you're reading their reaction. If you're in there by yourself, like in a theater, you are free to do whatever you want, react to whatever you want. It's
let your hair down.
Great time. Great time.
Yeah, I really haven't done much of anything by myself except for traveling, like on the road. And that, just getting gas, grabbing food, whatever. But man, if you're not in a situation where you're around a bunch of people, going somewhere by yourself is such a big deal, because it's like, 1, you get to enjoy what you would have been missing out on otherwise. And 2, like, man, depending on where you're at, man, you could bring in friends, like I think people with the technology age happening now, like, you hear stories of people meeting their boyfriend and girlfriend in a bar, right, instead of on an app. And obviously, like, I'm not condoning going to a bar all the time as a pastor, but man, like, going out to a baseball game, going out to a restaurant, going to the movies, going to a park, like, you can meet people and develop friendships and relationships that way. And I think that's so healthy, and in ways a lot healthier than, trying to put off a persona that doesn't really suit who you are on the internet, or even potentially getting catfished by somebody else. So,
and I will agree. Being a young adult is one of those hardest times to go out and interact, because you're right out of college, so you missed, or you may not have gone to college, but either way you're out of high school, and that's a place. Those are places where friendship is abundant normally. You have the opportunities like around every corner to meet somebody, whether it's someone you're sitting by in class or someone you meet up with in a club or something. But once you're out of that and it's just your job, especially with more and more remote jobs, your chances for human interaction shoot way down,
Yeah, COVID has really done a number on just people doing school from home, working from home, doing everything from, home base. And it's like, man, it's that time. Get out there with or without your mask, but go meet some people, go have fun, go enjoy yourself.
That's what you got to do. So this one says, my mom wants me to go to summer camp, and I don't know whether I should agree to. You're talking to two youth pastors here, so she keeps saying
summer camp all day.
She keeps saying that I need to learn something like an instrument and a sport and arts and everything, and it's stressing me out. I don't know whether to say yes and agree, because it's supposed to be a break, and I don't want to waste it. But I feel like she's right, and I should learn something, because she says I need to go to university and have a good life. So I don't know, and I'm sorry if I'm unclear.
It's not just a phase, Mom.
Oh man.
So I'm a little confused with that, because they're talking about summer camp versus like learning an instrument or a sport,
very different
or
things.
Something. So is this like a summer, like an entire summer camp? Or is it a sport or instrument summer camp?
It sounds like the mom just wants them to do something that's going to show up on a application
instead of going to summer camp.
Or no, their mom wants them to go to summer camp.
Okay.
So maybe it's like, well, you haven't learned a sport, played a sport, or learned an instrument. You need to go to the summer camp, type of thing. Like, you need to do something this summer rather than sit at home.
Right.
I think that's kind of vibe I'm getting off of it.
Yeah.
I'd say
that was a little confusing, but yeah, go with what you're gonna say.
I say go. I mean, I was always hesitant to go to summer camps growing up. Like, I only went to one or two, but when I went, I had the time of my life. They're great experiences. It's just, I know it's scary because you don't know what you're going to be doing. One minute you might be playing paintball, and the next you're in the middle of a canoe. But yeah, what do you think, Ron?
Instantaneous.
Yeah, instantaneous. You just teleport into the canoe. It's just crazy.
Full paintball gear and everything in the middle of a canoe. Yeah, for one, I would definitely say go to summer camp. I mean, I look back, the first time I had gone to camp was like an actual summer camp was like 2007, when I was in the 7th grade, and it was like an outdoor wilderness camp. I was pretty anxious about it, just because we didn't know anything about it. Like, it was our youth pastor's first year there. He's like, hey, we're gonna go to this place. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. If you guys like it, we'll go back. If you don't, we'll find another camp.
That's vague.
Oh yeah, it was, dude. Like, we had no knowledge whatsoever, and we ended up going, and it was nuts. I mean, like, as soon as we pull up, there's staff like banging on our windows, like screaming, jumping on top of the bus.
That's either the most exciting or terrifying experience.
Oh yeah, or both. It was like exhilarating, and through that, man, like. It was incredible. It was like one of the most incredible experiences I ever had, and then proceeded to go every year and ended up working on staff there. Like, one of these things that was like an apprehensive decision that I could make to go to a week of summer camp I end up, really getting saved, like coming to the Lord through that, and through like the men that the Lord placed in my life there. I ended up feeling a calling to ministry, and then I ended up working in camp ministry for 4 years. Like, man, those small decisions and just saying yes to going to summer camp could be a huge change in your life. And I think just being able to be willing to take that step and go, what could be a huge game changer for you. So I would say, yeah, absolutely, go to summer camp and then learn a sport, learn an instrument. I don't know, do whatever makes you happy. Like, don't try to force yourself to learn how to play the flute or the piano or anything. Like, don't force yourself to get on a soccer field or a football field.
Angrily play saxophone.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, man, like, but try things out. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, you don't have to master an instrument, you don't have to master a sport, you don't have to go work at a summer camp eventually, but try something once, because you never know until you try. You never know what doors could open up to things for you until you actually give it a shot. So
true. All right, so this one says, where do I go from here? I've reached a somewhat comfortable state in my life. However, I feel like I'm not doing all I can do. I want to make something more in my life. I want to make music, but I feel like I'm just going to fail at it. It's like this with a lot of things in my life. I really want to aspire for something, but when I try to learn and don't do good at it, I just feel like I wasted my time and money. With the fear of losing money, I don't buy things like a keyboard, not to mention I'll need to buy a car soon. I'm just kind of in a state of nothing, like I'm an NPC, a non-playable character. All I do is go through the motions of high school and sports without feeling like I'm doing anything with my youth and life. Well, the good news is you're in high school. Yeah, that's the positive note.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and whatever your username is, random Reddit user, I hope you're listening to this. I hope you watch, and I hope whenever you launch out of your SoundCloud rapper career, you come find us, because we're giving you a shout out here. Yeah. We're going to give you a shout out on the podcast.
On the music note, I suggest steering from the SoundCloud side of things. There's affordable stuff out there to avoid that route. But yeah, I mean, I understand the feeling. When you're in high school, it feels like after you're out, that's it. I can relate to that, but it's just, at least you're playing sports and you're still in school. There's a lot of positive notes here, but it's hard because I feel like, when you're in that home life, you don't feel like you have much to do. And try the music. If you fail at it, that's fine. A lot of artists' first albums are trash, and those aren't the ones you hear that are the first ones they release. Those have been thrown away.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I watched that Kanye documentary on Netflix when he was like a producer and then was trying to get his music in there, and people are just like, no, like whatever, like it's just Kanye. And then now, like, you say Kanye around anybody, they know who Kanye is.
Oh yeah, you can just say yay, and they're gonna know who it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the one really encouraging thing that I heard from that was, I'm trying a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of things, because just like our last topic was, you don't know until you try, and so I do really understand and kind of empathize with the feeling like a jack of all trades but master of none. I think it can get really hard, especially when you really start trying to invest, into purchasing things and trying to get really serious in it. But man, like, how cool is it to say that you've dabbled in all of these things and have some experience in them too? Yeah. Like, one of these days something's going to click. Like, one of these days you're going to find something that really suits you and that you're really good at. And man, you may even, make a name for yourself in that. So remember us when you get famous, and you're welcome on the pod.
Yeah. I mean, take this podcast as your sign. I mean, this is the first episode. We stepped out there, dude, and we tried it. And we don't know if we're going to flop on our face or succeed. No clue, but we're having fun doing it, and that's what matters.
And we're going to wear a helmet.
I mean, and I've made music in the past before, and I figured it's not for me, but it wasn't because I didn't think I was doing okay. It's just, I know that I don't want that lifestyle. And there's things you'll learn about yourself as you try new things. You'll figure out what you enjoy doing and what you don't enjoy doing, and that's the most important thing of all of it.
Did you have a rap name?
Yes. I don't think I...
I need to know it. We can't intimately be co-hosts on a podcast and I not hear your rap name.
My rap name was Do Not Attempt. DNA.
Yes.
DNA. Yes. And my music is still out there.
Yes.
My music's on Spotify and everything. Oh man.
Right.
That was not a plug.
You've heard it here first.
Oh man, my
All
music,
major streaming platforms.
it ranges so much. There's some music that's like soft and uplifting, and then the next one's a hard rap song. Really, you can tell I didn't have my sense of direction. But
Oh my gosh. Man, speaking of all major platforms, I'm going to go ahead and give a plug for us. So, hey, if you like what you're hearing so far, and the rest of this episode is music to your ears, no pun intended, to DNA, man, we really like come check us out. Small Talk, part of Small World Media, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere that you stream your podcast. Give us a listen, 5-star, save, favorite, heart emoji, whatever. Yeah, give us a follow, and hopefully, the rest of these episodes will be perfect for your morning commute, your drive home, your lunch break, or just downtime that you got at the house. We really love for you guys to join us. So,
yep. All right. I think we got time for one more.
let's do it.
All right, so this is a short one, but it's kind of an odd situation, or a tough situation, not odd. My friend is staying at my home rent free. Am I a bad person for asking for rent money from a friend after he had been staying at my home rent free for 2 months because of marital issues he is dealing with? He's doing a trial separation. He and his wife have been having issues for almost a year now.
Oof. Yeah. So, one, speaking from experience, with having somebody just living in your home rent free, like that already can develop issues, like laundry, mess, dishes, cooking, food. Like, if you get to the point where you're labeling stuff in the fridge, like you need to be charging rent money,
Yeah.
But in that, like, man, I really do want to say, like, I don't know if whoever sent this in or anything is a believer or not, but man, like as a believer, there's a fine line that we try to navigate, right? There's a line of like, I really want to be a blessing to this person, right? Like I want to help them out, I want to encourage them, I want to uplift them while they're down. And then there's also another side of where it's just like, man, financial burden, and I think accountability. I think when people are staying somewhere that's not their place rent free, and obviously you don't have to charge them an obscene amount of rent, but it's like when people are staying somewhere rent free, they tend to abuse the place that they're staying at.
Yeah.
It kind of becomes mom and dad's house almost, in a sense. It's like they kind of like regress to when they were living at home. And man, that's like, I get it. Like people that are having a hard time with their relationships and stuff, but I would say like if it's become a burden on like your bills, like your water bill's gone up, your electricity's gone up, so on and so forth. And if they're living there now, it's been 2 months, right? If they're not foreseeing moving out, if they're still working on stuff, I would say it's kind of transitioned from, hey, we want to bless you for a couple weeks, to you're now our living roommate.
Get out my house. No, no. Well, question: are they still bringing in income? That's a great question.
Yeah, true.
If they are, then they have no reason not to be paying rent, because I'm sure they were paying bills at their house. Which, I mean, there's different situations. Maybe they weren't, but also it's even harder when the person you have staying with you is leaning towards a situation where they be depressed. I mean, it's hard when you're in a separation and you don't know if you're going to get divorced. I think that has to bring some form of emotional trauma onto you, whether it's major or not. That's a hard one, but you got to sit down and have a conversation. Like, you don't necessarily have to just kick them to the curb immediately. Just, you need to sit down and say, hey, what's your game plan? Can I help you create a game plan to help you get out of this situation?
Yeah, and I think, another point of interest that we don't really know much about is like, how much weight are they pulling around the house too? Like, are they doing dishes? Are they doing laundry? Are they taking care of chores around the house too? That would really benefit you as well. Like that also, especially if they're out of work or aren't having any passive income or anything like that. Like, man, that would be also a good thing to kind of talk about as well.
Yeah. Which I guess either way, this person seems like they're ready for them to be gone. And they don't know how to tell them that. And that's, that's something that's a case-by-case basis. And you just got to be and it's not even just this situation. If you have someone living in your home and they need to be paying rent, or they need to find a situation that better suits them, it's just a conversation that needs to be.
Yeah. And so definitely in that, like, check your motives. It's like, am I thinking about requesting rent because I want them like, because we need it, because we need the help, like we need the financial assistance, or do I want to place a hardship on them so they'll move out?
Or am
You
I
know?
looking just to profit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like-
And so, man, with that, like, yeah, do some soul searching there and be like, all right, what are my motives here?
Is it a,
like,
a 2-bedroom apartment or is it a mansion? Like, these are different things. Like,
we all share a bedroom.
yeah, I would understand. I would get it.
Like, he's got the top bunk, me and my wife are in the bottom bunk. It's a very, very uncomfortable situation.
Oh no, I don't even want to talk about what the implications that gets into. All right, well, this has been the first episode of Small Talk. I hope you have enjoyed it. Ronald, do you have anything you want to say to our people before we leave?
No, yeah, we really hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. Hopefully, we'll have many more to come. Some more good conversation, good discussion, and maybe some harebrained issues and topics that we'll cover as well. So let us know also, if you guys want to submit a topic or some advice, where can they do that?
So I want to tell you the email correctly just because this is relatively new, but I believe it is smallworldmedia.smalltalk@gmail.com. smallworldmedia.smalltalk@gmail.com. And if that is incorrect, I'll correct it. But to make it simple, if you are a Spotify listener, we are going to attach a Q&A to this episode, if at all possible, where you can enter your question and we can address it. And once again, it's only something we see, and if you're not comfortable, we'll look for more anonymous ways in the future, but you will not be mentioned name by name. But make sure if you do submit something, you listen next week. Comes out every Tuesday. That way you can hear your story, hear your advice, and we're here to talk with you.
Yeah, and so I did find it. It is
Backwards.
smallworldmedia.
Sorry, I didn't.
Sorry, at gmail.com.
I didn't make the email.
No, it's all good.
It's smalltalk.smallworldmedia at gmail.com. All right. Yeah, that's Austin. He is part of the Small World Media production crew. But anyway, it's been great to have you, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
Have turned the soul of this